رسول 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 نبي 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 نبي.
Allah says in the Quran that when the fast of Ramadan came down, He changed the law of fasting. Prior to this, we used to fast in accordance with the Jewish law. For 17 months we fasted like that. How did we fast? From sunset to sunset, all through the night and all through the next day. No food, no drink, and no sexual relations with your wives. Okay. But then revelation came down saying that now you will fast from dawn until sunset. And now it is halal for you to go to your wives during the night time. أُحِلَّتْ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. It is halal for you. هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. They are your garments, you can't do without them. And you are their garments, they can't do without you. عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ تَخْتَانُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Allah knows that some of you who were supposed to be staying away from your wife during the night time used to go secretly to them. فَتَابَ عَلَيْكُمْ. And Allah has now forgiven you. He's turned towards you mercifully. وَعَفَى عَنْكُمْ. And Allah has forgiven you. فَالْآنِ. And so now, بَاشِرُوهُنَّ. Now go and embrace them in the nights of fasting. And when you embrace them, now listen to the words. Listen to the words. وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. And now seek for what Allah has written for you. In other words, what the Quran is saying very plainly and clearly is that it is Allah who writes how many children you're going to have and when you're going to have them. Oh, He does the writing. Oh, but the Jews and the Christians tell us, no, we should do the writing ourselves. It's called family planning. You must take over from Allah and you must do the right thing yourself. It's called planned parenthood. It's called responsible parenting. You sit down with your wife and say to her, Dudu, we go have the first baby 3 years from now, after we build the house and we have the car and we have this and that, and then we go have the first baby. And then we go space out for 3 years and then we go have the second one. So you sit down and you plan. What you have attempted to do is to write for yourself, called family planning. Anyone who attempts to take over from Allah and do the right thing for themselves commits shirk. You know, that shirk is all around us in the world today. Illa ma sha Allah. Affecting everybody. Did you hear the story about the fella? He clutched his heart, had a pain, rushed him to the hospital. They put him under the machine, say the heart clogged. He had to get bypassed right away. Operate on him, triple bypass. Luckily that they had this hospital and they had this good doctor. And the man lived, come back home. You know, if he didn't go to that doctor and that hospital, he'd have dead. You never heard it, sister? Come on and tell me. You never hear people say that? You know, if he didn't go to that hospital and he didn't have that operation, he'd have dead. Oh, I see. Oh, life and death in the hands of the doctor now, eh? And life and death in the hands of the hospital now, eh? And life and death in the hands of this medicine, eh? Life and death no longer in Allah's hand, eh? Huh? What is the implication of someone forgetting Allah, forgetting that life and death are in His hands, and now being convinced that life and death in the hands of some doctor, some hospital? That is shirk. Everywhere we turn in the world today, the sunnah of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is abandoned. Everywhere that we turn in the world today, illa masha'Allah, mankind has embraced shirk. And so truly, truly, the very heart and substance of the religion is gone. And nothing remains of the religion but the shell today. If shirk is such a great sin, how great? Allah says He is prepared to forgive all sins. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. He is prepared to forgive all sins, but He will not forgive shirk. Huh? Did you not say so? So this is the worst sin of all. And this is the one we started with, to demonstrate the sorry mess in which we are today. But if shirk is the worst of all, which comes after shirk? It is a sin concerning which Allah has declared that both He and His Messenger wage war. Wage war. That's the word, war. Against those who are involved in that sin. Which sin is it? It is something called riba. Riba is borrowing and lending money on interest. And if after this revelation has come down, you're still lending money on interest and demanding the interest, like right here in Trinidad, right here in San Fernando, right here in the same masjid in San Fernando where people come to perform salat, you have people lending money on interest. I nearly fell down, dropped down dead when I got the report. Yes? Money lenders lending money on interest privately and hiring lawyers to defend the money that they lent on interest. But I spare them by not mentioning their names. Hopefully that my message would reach them and some fear will enter into their hearts, these money lenders. Because Allah says, if this revelation comes down in the Quran and you're still lending money on interest, then take notice of a declaration of war from Allah and from His Messenger. Is that not harsh language? Well, when I was a child growing up in Chaguanas, I remember there was a man in Kufa who used to lend money on interest. And I remember that this Muslim community 50 years ago was such that if that man had come to the masjid with a bag full of money to donate it to the masjid, nobody would have taken that masjid. Go from here, we don't want your masjid money. And if that man had invited us to his home for a meal, nobody would have gone to eat in his home. That was this Muslim community 50 years ago. Where are we today? The bank manager has the highest status in the society. Yeah? And going and borrowing money in an interest from the bank, no big thing. And putting your money in a fixed deposit and living off the interest, no big thing. That's a sensible thing to do. Everybody doing it. What's the punishment?